Hello everyone, this is Dragonod and welcome to another episode of How to Build Hogwarts in Minecraft. And today it is episode 28 and it is finally time to get started with the landscaping. And I am so sorry I have not uploaded in quite a long time. I've just been so busy with personal life and it's just been really busy, so I'm really sorry about that, but I am back now and it is time for the landscaping. And so in this tutorial we are going to be using World Edit, which is a Java mod, and so unfortunately if you are playing on Bedrock Edition you will have to wait for my next video, which will be the Bedrock landscaping. And so today this tutorial will only apply for people who have World Edit installed. And so the first step is clearly to have World Edit installed. There are plenty of videos around the place on how to install it. I will leave some links in the description on how to install it. And so let's assume you have World Edit already installed. And so let's get started. And so the first thing we're going to do is to work on the bulk of the landscaping using some rough World Edit spherical brushes. And so the first thing we're going to do is go into our inventory and pick up some tools. And so I like to use shovels to make spheres. And so let's pick up a wooden shovel, a stone shovel, and then an iron shovel just like this, and these are going to be our World Edit brushes. And so make sure you have the wooden shovel in your hand and type in / brush sphere, and then we're going to go with sand, as because sand is affected by gravity and therefore it forms a more natural landscape. And then we're going to type in 5, which basically means it will generate a sphere of radius 5, and so press enter and that will mean this brush is now a sand sphere of radius 5. And so one thing I do like to do with World Edit is as my tools go up, for example to stone and then to iron, they get smaller and smaller. And so for our stone shovel, take the exact same command but make this one radius 3, and then for the iron shovel make this radius 1. And so these are going to be the main brushes we're going to use to get the bulk of the landscaping done. And then one thing that is very important to do is to do a /gmask and then air, which basically means these brushes will only act on air blocks. And so if you take a look at our brushes, if you take the first one and then right click on anywhere, it will generate a circle of radius 5 of sand just like this, and then the stone one, a sphere of radius 3, and then the iron one, a sphere of radius 1. And if anything goes wrong at any time, you can do / undo to remove the last edit, and you can repeat that multiple times to remove multiple edits going back in time. And I just want to point out before we do any landscaping is that landscaping, it does take a lot of time and patience, and so it will take some time to get done. And in this video I will be showing you the technique to doing it, and then it is up to you on how much landscaping you actually want to do. And so the next thing to do really is just get started. And so obviously we are going to use the largest brush first and then slowly polish it up with the smaller brushes. And so very simply look down at the blocks below and just start right clicking to build up some main landscaping beneath your Hogwarts. And so build up all the way to the top of the courtyard, and basically what we're going to do is just use this technique of just placing down massive spheres to just create as much landscaping as you want going around the castle. And then of course if you want to fill out these gaps here, you can of course use these smaller brushes just like this, just like that, and then you can basically just go ahead going around and placing all these spheres everywhere until you have a basic idea of what your landscape wants to look like. And of course, your landscape can be whatever you wish. Of course in Hogwarts it sort of slowly smoothens out to the ground along here. And so that's what I'm trying to do along here. We're just going to go ahead and create a gentle slope going all the way down, just like this, going down. And so as you can see using this method, it does create some landscape very, very quickly. However, it does have this very rough and bald look, and so this is where our other brushes are going to come in. And so you can go ahead and use our smaller brushes to go ahead and sort of polish off around these larger spheres to create smaller balls, and it'll make it look a bit more natural. And then one thing I do like to do to make the landscaping more smooth is by using cylindrical brushes. And so go ahead into your inventory and pick out any other tool. Let's just go with a golden pickaxe for this one. And then on this tool type in / brush, cylinder, and then sand, and then 3. And what this does is it creates a cylinder of radius 3, which is 1 block tall. And so you can go ahead and place this all the way around your landscaping, around the areas that sort of very obviously spheres. And as you can see, it very slowly removes that spherical look. And you can go ahead and do this around as much as you want. And it will just go ahead and create the landscape a bit more smoother and a bit more natural compared to that really rough and spherical look that I had before. And so we're just going around to any areas that look like this, with these sort of ball shapes over here, and it's placing in the cylinder tool to just make it look a bit more smooth and natural within the landscape. And so just go ahead once again and place it around, making the landscape look a bit more natural and smoother compared to the old rugged look. And there we go. As you can see using the cylinders, it has smoothened out the landscape and made it look a bit less spherical. However, it does look a bit rugged right now, and that is where this smooth brush can come in. And so go into inventory and pick out another tool. Let's go with a diamond pickaxe for this one. And then on this tool type in / brush, and then smooth just like this. And then since you're now dealing with sand blocks and not air blocks, we need to turn off our gmask. And so type in /gmask and then press enter, and that will turn it off. And then since we only want to smoothen the sand blocks and not anything else, we're going to type in /mask and then sand, just like that. And that will mean the brush will only work on sand blocks. And then all you need to do is just go ahead and right click around areas that look a bit rough, and you can smoothen the areas off with the smooth tool. However, I would strongly advise not to overuse this tool, since it can make the landscape look very square shaped and unnatural, and that is not what you want. But it can be used sparingly, and it does smooth the landscape quite a bit. And then, if you're not happy with how it looks, you can always do some landscaping by hand to further polish it off. And then the next thing we need to do is turn this all into stone. And so what we're going to do is type in / replace near 50 sand and then stone, just like that. And that will replace all sand blocks within a 50 block radius into stone. And then very simply, we just need to go ahead, just flying around and repeating the exact same command to turn it all into stone, just like this. But of course, landscaping is not just stone, it's got some grass and everything, and so we are now going to paint the landscape with some grass. And so for this, we're going to use some more tools, and so go ahead and pick out 3 more tools. Let's just go with a wooden hoe, a stone hoe, and then an iron hoe. And then on this brush, what we're going to do is type in / brush, sphere, and then 75% 1, 25% 2, and then 5, just like that. And basically what that means, it will generate a sphere of radius 5 that is randomly 75% stone and then 25% grass. And then press enter, just like that. And then on the stone hoe, change the 25 to 50, and then 75 to 50 as well. And then press enter, just like that. And then this time it means it will be randomly 50% stone and then 50% grass as well. And then on the last iron hoe, what we're going to do is type the exact same thing, just this time, 25% 1, and then 75% as a second number, just like that. And what that means, it will be a circle that is randomly 25% stone and 75% grass. And so if we go ahead and just place these down over here, 1, 2, 3, we can see the first one, it is roughly 25% grass blocks, this one is 50% grass blocks, and this one over here is 75% grass blocks. And then you can go ahead and remove these by typing undo 3, just like that. But of course, if we do place these on the landscape, it won't actually do anything, it's just going to place some random ugly blobs everywhere, and we do not want that. And so what you need to do is type in /gmask, and then 1, and then comma, and then 2, just like that. And what that means is these commands are only going to affect grass blocks and stone blocks. And so with these 3 brushes, I go ahead and paint the terrain. And so basically, since the iron hoe is majority grass, you're going to use this on areas that are mainly flat. And then the middle one on sort of steepish areas, and then the wooden one, which is mostly stone, on the steepest of areas. And so let's take the iron hoe, and as you can see, there is a flat area around here. And so what we're going to do is use the iron hoe and paint this area with a brush that is majority grass, just like that. And so you'll use this brush on the flattest of areas. And so for stone hoe, you can use this on areas that are a bit of a gradient. For example, let's say with over here, it's at a light gradient. Let's go ahead and place in some light areas of grass over there, over here as well maybe. And then maybe down here going down there, just like that. And then maybe along here as well. And so basically on any area that is at a slight angle. And then your last one is for any areas that are extra steep. So maybe along here, maybe along this entire face along here, just like this, going all the way along. And so you can go ahead and use this technique to go ahead and paint the landscape in whichever way you prefer. And so standard principle is the iron one on the flattest areas, the stone one on the medium angles, and then the wooden one on the steepest angles. However, one thing you will notice with this technique is it does place grass on top of grass, and that does look very, very ugly. And so to remove that, what you need to do is type in /gmask 2, and then run the command / replace near 50, and then exclamation mark, less than symbol, and then 0, and then replace that with dirt, just like that. And so what that means basically is it will replace every single block in a 50 block radius that is not directly underneath an air block with dirt. However, since we do have the gmask turned on for just grass, it will mean it will only affect grass blocks that are not directly below air. And so, since this grass block right here was not below air, it was turned into dirt, just like that, and it does neaten up the landscape just a tiny bit. And so this is the landscaping technique. I will leave all the commands in the description if you need to double check them. And so all you need to do basically is just use this technique to do as much landscaping as you wish. And so for the most part, Hogwarts just goes from here and then goes down to the ground at a nice gradient. And so now I'm going to take you on a tour of my main Hogwarts map so you can get an idea of what my landscaping looks like, just in case you want some inspiration from it. Otherwise, feel free to do whatever you want. And let's go ahead and get straight into that. However, do bear in mind that some of my landscaping has been done by hand to make it even more accurate. However, I do hope this does help provide you some inspiration on what the landscape should look like, but of course in the end it is completely up to you on how much you want and in which shape you do it. But here is just some inspiration. And so that is all from me for today. I hope that made sense. If it did not, then you are welcome to join my little server for support and I will try my best to help you out. And one thing I do want to say about landscaping is it is a learning experience. The more you do, the better you get at it. The first time you start off, it might be a bit rough, but then the more you do it, the better and better you get at making nicer looking landscape. And it's basically, the more time you put into it, the better it will look. But anyway, that's all from me for today. Thank you so much for 1 million views. That is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. And we just passed 7,500 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. So thank you guys so much. And so I'll see you guys in the next video where we will be working on the landscape but for Bedrock Edition. And so thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys all then.